Box Modcast. I am your host, John Ostos, aka El Eagle CEO, with my counterpart, Deion Larry, aka we never really concluded.
No one has given us any more suggestions either, so it's like...
And I don't know if I can just run with Sweet D, man. That's not... I mean... it's like a Playboy name.
It is.
Yeah, I can't call you that.
And I'm not that. So...
Right. Yeah, right. All right, so check it out. First of all, real quick, shout out to Marshall Johnson, man. That last episode that we did was pretty legit. Got a lot of quality feedback on it. And got a few additional subscribers out of it, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, make sure you go give it a watch. It's definitely worth the time.
Yeah, a lot of good feedback on it, man. It was cool. A lot of support behind it too, and helping share it. So I appreciate all you guys for listening and those who subscribed and helped share that video and stuff. That was really cool. That was like our most popular one, and we're not even remotely popular, but that just was the most popular one. So cool. This week we have not so much of a crazy topic, but I just want to, and this is something that we do. We run a gym, obviously. So I wanted to talk about gym etiquette stuff. It's been a topic of discussion actually in the gym. We're having a lot of issues with certain people and situations and stuff that are just continuously happening, and some stuff you just can't always make a sign for.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Some things just have to come to a stop, or it just becomes too much. So I decided, look, man, I don't want to be hard on anybody. I don't want to be harsh. I don't want to be that dude that's like complaining all the time in the gym situation and whatnot. So I thought, let's have some fun with it. Let's make it some questions and some pet peeve type things that we discuss on this episode. Help give people a better understanding, if not for all gyms, which I believe some of the stuff we'll talk about would be kind of the consensus.
Yeah.
Definitely for our gym at Metroflex Fargo. I want to talk opinions, like what we believe versus what policies are, or what should be policies or shouldn't be policies, etc. And see if we can't give some insight to people on how to fucking behave in the gym, or not.
Yeah, I mean, coming from just being a gym goer to actually working the front desk at the gym and having to clean up and take care of things, I can see a lot of both sides, and it throws me for a loop a little bit. But I'm like, well, this only makes sense now because I treat it like it's my home, So. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
So we'll find out then. Is it just opinion or is it policy? What you have to say, right? So let's jump right into it, man, because I think this will be pretty fun. First thing I want to talk about is probably a really common one. It's plate numbers in or out.
So I'm really picky about this one.
Me too.
I like to do plates inwards. We also have two different types of plates at the gym.
So you're human.
Yeah, we have the flat ones, and then we have ones that are the same on both sides, so it doesn't matter which way you put them on. If you have one that is the same on both sides on one side and a flat one on the other side, that is a no-go. That's bad juju.
That bothers you?
That's bad juju right there.
Okay. That doesn't bother me one bit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I have a lot of crazy pet peeves, but that one doesn't bother me at all.
What if you use, we have those flat fives that are flat on both sides, and then a five with the plates on the, the size on it, and then the flat side? You could use one on each side.
Yeah.
Dang.
You know what I can't do, though? I can't do it out of order.
Yeah. No, that's bad.
Like it has to be two flat plates versus two handle plates, and it has to be in the same order. It
You're
can't
not
be
going
like
5, 10, 15.
No. I mean the actual plates that I'm using. Like how you said it's on both sides. Some of our plates are like that. Our 45s is what we're talking about. So some of them it's on both sides. So it's universal. It doesn't matter which direction you put it. It's the same. And then we have the regular old school iron plates where they're flat on one side, and then they have logos and numbers on the other side.
Your OG plates.
Right. I can't put, we will call them OG plates versus new school, right? So I can't put OG plate, new school on the left and then do OG plate, new school, OG plate on the right.
Yeah.
I can't do that. That would drive me crazy. But it doesn't matter that I'm using alternating plates. They just got to be the same in the same order for me. That's a weird thing for me. But I'm also a numbers in guy.
Yeah.
For me, it's a matter of taking the plates off and on. When I pull the plates off, I want to be able to reach my fingers around the lip of the plate and pull it off that way, so I know I'm holding it right.
So you put it on the tree the right way then?
Yeah, I put it on the tree like that too.
Facing inwards, yeah.
Inward.
That's a big pet peeve for me because I'm like...
You can't pull them off when it's the other way. You got to use your thumb under the lip of that, and then you're like... it's a strength no one has. There's no muscle that we train for that. I don't know if that's my logic or not. I will say, since we're talking opinion versus policy, there is no fucking policy on that.
No,
whatsoever.
definitely not.
The only policy that when it comes to plates is putting them back and then putting them in the right spot. And this will lead us into one that's not on my list, but putting 45s where the 25s belong and 25s where the 45s belong, and or 10s and vice versa.
Yeah.
I can't stand when people do that. It's so lazy, especially when the numbers are fucking there.
So my big thing with that is like, I get it. You're tired. Put the weight away. You do it that way. Okay. That's fine. But then you go and you stack a 45 on top of that 25. So I got to take that 45 off, bring it back down, and then grab the 25. Like that irritates me. Then I got to do extra work. Like I would prefer people put it where it's supposed to go, but it's not that big of a deal for me. But you can't be putting other plates on top of it that don't match.
For sure. I agree. That's and I'll say the two of those that we just mentioned, the putting them in the right stem, 45 stem or a 10 or a 25, whatever it be, versus stacking them on top of each other when they're mixed weights. Policy for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a gym policy. If it wasn't a gym policy nationwide or even probably worldwide, employees wouldn't have to go out and rearrange those motherfuckers as part of their job responsibility.
Yeah.
And they do. So that means it's policy. If you're doing this and you're hearing this, stop fucking doing that. It's bad gym etiquette.
Yeah,
like really bad gym etiquette.
It's no fun, and it creates a lot of work for everybody else around you, especially if you're somebody who's using dangerous. A lot of plates.
It's dangerous. I've pulled a 45-pound plate off of a bar before
I do that all the
when
time.
there was a 10 on it, and I didn't notice it, and that thing fell on my foot and crushed my foot, homie. Like,
I've done that with like 25s, and luckily I am just dull to pain like that. Like I'll just drop it and I'm like, oh, I hope no one saw that because I'm embarrassed. But
no, it's bad. It's bad. I've had a 45 fall on mine, and I think it broke my toe, and it was jacked up for a while. But I've seen, I probably won't air his name out, but a guy here in town, in Wahpeton, his fucking toe exploded under the weight when it fell, like literally bursted it open, bro.
Took pictures and posted it on Facebook for people to see. That was crazy.
Can you imagine that pain?
We've maybe had one or two of those happen at our gym.
Yes.
And
all right, so we've had a couple of those in our gym for sure,
and it's pretty brutal usually. So it's not a fun one.
Yeah, but definitely. So that's policy, and for that, there's a very good example as to why it should be considered policy, is because you could really jack somebody up.
My question to you is: does it matter? Going back to the first one, because I just got to solve this. Does it matter if you're using like a barbell? Or like, so say you're doing bench press, you're gonna keep your weights the same on each side. They're gonna replicate each other, right? You're gonna have the OG plates, and then you could do the other ones. Yeah. But when you're doing like, let's say the high to low lat pull down, which is a machine that's plate loaded, does it matter then?
No.
Then you can do whatever. Yep. Same here.
It doesn't matter then, and I'm sure it's strictly mental. Yeah. But that doesn't need the me to be the counterbalance. It's already fixed.
Sometimes I do it though.
I might like, sometimes.
It's a very off and on type thing. Or like a Smith machine. Would you do it on a Smith machine?
Yeah. Again, because it's the balance thing in my head. I feel like it's more perfectly balanced in accordance with.
But the Smith machine is on tracks.
That's what I'm saying. So on a Smith machine, I would do it, or I would let them be messed up by doing. Yep. When I say I would do it, I would just throw them on there. It wouldn't matter, like we would do on the
high to low.
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
It's either way, it's all mental, bro.
Yeah, like, it is. Right. It is. I just think it's like a bad juju. Like I get a bad vibe. That's when injuries happens. That's when you tear your pec, when you freaking blow out a bicep or a tricep. Like I don't want that, so I just leave it alone.
That's exactly why people tear their muscles.
Yeah, it's not their bad form. It's not the heavy weight. It's the fact that they put the plates on wrong.
You had the wrong plate in the wrong spot on the bar, bro. It was the right weight.
You're gonna pay for it.
The wrong plate. All right. Well, that leads us into then the next one on the list is curling in the squat rack.
Yeah. See, I mean, I don't mind it, but I grew up doing it, So it's like ever since I was in the gym, I was curling in the squat rack before I was even squatting in the squat rack. So I don't know.
Same. I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
I've done it a million times, and I'll always do it if I need to.
Just to show off.
I don't do it intentionally to be like, oh, I'm curling in the squat rack.
Yeah.
That's the most fucking convenient place to do it when you want to use a 45-pound bar to do your straight bar curls.
Exactly. You're not going to go in front of the mirrors with a long 45-pound bar.
That's what I mean. And nobody ever like complains that somebody would. People do it over a bench press all the time. They'll use the 45-pound bar on a bench press. They'll straddle the fucking bench standing, and they'll do it. And I'm just like, how is that okay? But you can't do it in the squat rack where you can have clean form.
Yeah,
you can have your legs spread apart. You know,
at a
just
right
inside
distance.
shoulder width instead of outside shoulder width, like a cowboy. You know what I mean? And like then you got the bar and everything to rack it properly. Like it just makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
it's total bro shit that people don't want you to curl in the squat rack because someone needs to use it. Well, we have fucking 9 squat racks at Metroflex, so don't bitch if you see somebody doing it. It's definitely not a policy. In some gyms it might be, but I think that's overdid. It's not a policy in my gym. No. I don't think there's anything wrong. I know there's a bunch of old school dudes right now are gonna be like, fuck that guy. I don't care, yo. Like I don't care. I do it. I have done it. I don't do it intentionally. But if I need to curl a 45-pound bar, straight bar, I'm going to do it in the squat rack, bro.
Yeah.
It's the safest place for me to do it with the most clearance.
I mean, nowadays I see myself only doing it when I'm doing like a row or something with the barbell as well. Like I'm not gonna walk all the way to the dumbbells, especially if it's not busy and no one's using the rack next to me. I'll take both racks.
Yeah. That being said, who's curling with a 45-pound straight bar anymore anyway?
No one really.
Right.
No one's even straight bar curling.
Right.
I rarely ever see
so
it.
like if that's even happening anymore, you can do it in the squat rack. Just maybe only if it's a need.
Yeah. Or it has to be over 25 pounds on each side.
Yeah, for sure.
Only.
Don't use a 5-pound bar if you're gonna throw 10s on it. Just go grab the 15-pound bar and throw fucking 45 plates on it.
It'll look better. It'll look better.
So that's one that I know that one's notorious. I have some pretty cool stories about that, but we won't get into them because they're people that I still associate with today.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one, though. I got another good one here. Squats and deadlifts. This maybe isn't so much as a pet peeve or anything like that, but the notes I have on this one would be because I hear this discussion all the time in the gym.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Do you think squats and deadlifts are a necessity, or do you believe it's just a sport lift? And two parts to this. Do you think depth matters?
It's just a sport lift. I think it's a fun sport lift though. Same with like bench press.
Right. Yeah, I'm not saying anything's wrong with it.
Yeah.
This is not a necessity. Yeah, this is speaking to the sense of where people are like, you have to squat if you want to build legs. You have to deadlift if you want to build a back. You know, and it's just like, cool.
Yeah, I mean,
and then when you do those, it always comes to, well, ass to grass, bro, or you're not doing it right. And it's just like, well, I have a personal issue with that statement, and I will say I think there's sport lifts too.
Yeah.
But in terms of depth, like there's so much argument to range of motion. I think
we differ on this one.
Well, yeah. So there's so much, to range of motion. But I always bring up like Phil Heath. I think he's the only bodybuilder to ever get a perfect score in competition at the Olympia. Perfect score. That means his legs are perfect.
Yeah.
And that dude has the most partial squat of anybody in the fucking game. He does a lot of partial rep range movements too.
I mean, a lot of bodybuilders do. Yeah.
But how do you that's practitioner of science, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's proven that partial reps will build just as quality of muscle as full rep ranges.
I don't know.
So how do you refute that science? I only want a scientific response, D.
Well, just because he's partial squatting doesn't mean he's like doing partials for everything else. So like I'm sure.
No, I don't say everything else, but I'm speaking in terms of squats and
in terms of
squats or whatever.
Squats don't need to be a thing that a bodybuilder does, or to even have big legs. Let's not even put it in the context of a bodybuilder. You don't need to squat. It's not necessary. There's other things that are going to promote that kind of growth. But like, I don't know, Milos is who trains Regan Grimes?
Yep.
Regan Grimes.
Yep, it's Milos.
When he trains him, or I've seen videos of him training him, and he's like, okay, we're gonna do super saturated freaking holds basically at the top of your leg extensions, and he makes him hold it for like 3 seconds, and then he's like, okay, now you can go down.
That was a Dennis James thing too. He called it M-tut. It's maximum time under tension. So you would do holds, and then super slow negatives,
on the way
super
down,
slow positives.
It's outrageous.
Yeah,
but like that's
hurts.
gonna put on crazy size.
Yeah.
So it's like,
because you're tearing and breaking down the muscles so good in that kind of a style of training. You're really ripping at them.
But my opinion on the depth, I think you should go ass to grass. I think some people are made to do it. Some people aren't. You just don't have the mechanics for it, and that's fine. I don't think you should squat then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So you think someone would be better off not squatting if they can't do a full range of motion?
With weight. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I do think squatting.
Why do you think that?
Just because there's something to, like, say you're not even able to get to parallel.
Yeah.
Is that squatting?
Well, okay, but now parallel isn't depth.
No.
So
It's not depth
that's a partial squat still.
I would say
feel
so.
like,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. I would say if you're not breaking parallel, so I would say like that. It had to be there. Is a full squat. I wouldn't say your legs or your butt has to touch your ankles.
Right. That's ass to grass. That's what they talk about as ass to grass.
I mean, but no one in a competition is really going to squat that low. They're going to squat to parallel, but they're going to hit below parallel to make sure they're getting it.
Right.
You know? So I would say that would be like a full squat. I wouldn't say like right at parallel where it's like,
okay, so
maybe
ass to grass isn't a necessity.
No, I guess not.
But depth is in terms of getting below parallel.
Yep.
And anything parallel and above doesn't build muscle.
No, that's not true. No, but is there a good point to doing it then? Isn't there better movements that you could do?
What if someone thinks that squatting is crucial to building quality legs?
They'd be wrong. They'd be wrong.
Yeah. Even Phil Heath?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But like there's other versions of squats, so I guess I don't know.
But so I feel squats not necessary to build muscle. It's definitely necessary if you're a power lifter or anything like that because you have to squat. Deadlift I think is the same. It's not necessary to build muscle, and I think a lot of bodybuilders have proven it over time that don't use it. I know Dorian Yates preached that he never used squatting anymore after a period of time of doing squatting. So could everyone make the argument that he built the base before he stopped?
Squats.
You know what I mean? Maybe, but I don't think he was also renowned for having the greatest legs.
Yeah, and I mean, with that being said, partial squats will build muscle. So if you're doing them, do them if you want. But
if they're working, do them. That's what I tell people. Resistance is resistance. If it's working, keep doing it.
You're not going to not build muscle.
I'm sure genetics play a major role in who needs to and doesn't need to in terms of range of motion. Yeah, I'm sure that's a good one.
I'd like to touch deadlifts a little bit though, because we didn't really talk about that much.
Talk deadlifts.
Deadlifts are starting to come back, like you said. Most people didn't see a big need for them. I mean, you had the mass monsters, Ronnie Coleman would deadlift and stuff, I'm pretty sure. But like Ian Vier is starting to deadlift heavy again.
Look at Seabum.
Yeah, Seabum's
that guy's like a fucking competitive deadlifter now.
Exactly.
For weight.
There's something to say about putting mass on the back, but it also is like a true test of just overall compound ability. You're gonna build legs. You're gonna build lower back, upper back.
Right. Yeah.
Grip strength.
I agree. Yeah.
Like all those things. So I like to deadlift. I think it looks cool. Also.
So does smoking cigarettes.
We don't condone that.
I'm just saying, it looks really cool and everybody does it.
Yeah. So
that's a good point. You make a good point. It's a great compound movement.
It is,
and the full body strength and it comes with that too. So grip strength. Yeah.
I mean, if you wear straps, I guess.
Yeah. I wear straps.
I see people hook grip, and I tried that out for a while. That is brutal. Yeah. And some people are psychopaths for that. Because it literally just tears like the inside of your hand. It's something else. And it like feels like you're going to break your thumbs. It's fun. It's fun.
I've deadlifted a few times here and there. I'm not a big fan of it at all.
Yeah.
I can make every excuse in the world. I just don't like it.
But this weekend you were saying you were gonna do the strongman deadlifting at the gym in a couple weeks.
Yeah, but that shit was like a fucking rack dead, bro.
It was like a rack dead.
You know what I mean? It was really high up above the knee. I could rack dead all day. I do rack deads, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Because I believe that movement is quality for the back. Absolutely. I don't believe, again, the depth is necessity for building the back.
No.
Because rack deads are just parallel to the knee, so essentially, and I can lift and really squeeze it into my back for reps over and over at that higher range, I guess. So
I mean, especially if you're doing like a back day after your leg day, you're not going to want to do deadlifts.
Right.
You shouldn't, at least. I mean, you might do it, but
so
yeah,
there's that one. Again, opinion versus policy. It's no policy that you have to do it unless you're a fucking power lifter. They're going to be looking for certain range of motion. They're going to be looking for certain depths and things of that nature when you're doing, and a certain hold time even in the way that you do them. So a sport lift.
Yeah, it is a sport lift.
It's not a policy to
Both
have a certain range of motion. And I'm sure some people would love to argue the science and talk body mechanics and do all that stuff. And the problem with that is there's people who oppose that have the same science and argument, facts and all that stuff. So who really knows, man? I say whatever works, do it.
Yeah.
If it's working for you, do it.
Yeah. It's
if it's not working for you, try the other thing that you're not doing. Plain simple.
It's simple.
All right, cool. Let's see. Re-racking weights. This is kind of a no-brainer. This is definitely a big issue in the gym. I'll put a little spin on this one because yes, re-racking is important. It's fucking policy.
Yeah, it's policy.
And it's damn right rude as hell when you don't re-rack. It's super disrespectful. Yeah. It also tells me as a gym owner that you didn't wipe down your fucking equipment either because you're lazy. It's bad gym etiquette, man.
Yeah,
it really is. Now, I'll pose a question to this though, to the re-racking. Do you think, because I see people do this, and for some reason lately I've seen people do this a lot. Do you think it's okay to re-rack everything but one plate?
No. That's
like so people tend to say, look, if you're going to use this machine, you're not using a 45. Yeah, so they leave at least one plate on each. They'll take the first 3 off and leave the last one on each side.
The machine unilateral shoulder press. I see that a lot of the time, which a lot of people can't do.
Which to me is fucking weird because the peg to hang it up is right next to the peg to fucking put it on the arm. It's just that's super lazy.
Yeah,
bro.
it's like right below, literally.
Yeah, it's like I know people can't all see it, but yeah. It's just weird. Like, so that's, I don't know how I feel about it necessarily though, because I see it and I want to be, oh, come on.
Leg press.
But then I'm like, that's not such a bad thing, is it? I don't know.
The leg press, I see that more than anything else. Like a lot of people, I don't know many people.
Yeah, but see, now the leg press is different because that's like 167 pounds
to start
with nothing.
Yeah.
And most people can't get under that if there is a 45-pound plate on it.
That's true.
So you're talking something that already weighs over 150 pounds, bro. Like not everyone can push 150.
But the thing is the people that don't put their plates away and they'll leave just the one plate on are the people who did like 2 plates. They're like, I just took one off.
You should be strong enough.
If you can't do one plate, you're not.
I can do 2 for crying out loud. Who knows what the logic is of people homie, that go in here and do this stuff, man? It's crazy, super crazy. But re-racking, yes, definitely a policy in any fucking gym. I think that's one of the biggest arguments is how disrespectful it is. Like, this is all gym etiquette stuff. Anything that I think we would say is gym etiquette is probably going to be most likely a policy.
Yeah.
Or should be a policy if it's not. But it just depends, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, because then you're talking, you've got a staff member who it's not their job to put your weights away. It's their job to clean the gym, not clean up after you specifically. They don't get paid. You don't tip them. That's not how it works. Let's be real. So,
I mean, yes, they do it anyway because the honest truth is there's always going to be people who don't do it.
Yeah.
The goal is to try to get the people who are in there regularly, who make gymming a lifestyle, make sure that those people at least understand it because those are the ones that are going to be repeatedly doing it over and over.
Yeah.
In most case scenarios, the people that you're not going to be able to stop from doing it show up once a week.
Yeah.
Twice a week. It's usually.
Or they'll be gone in a month.
Yeah. But that's usually like how you understand it. When you see it, you're like, oh, these people must not know gym etiquette. If you're a 6-day-a-week gym goer and you do shit like that, man, you're just being an ass.
Yeah.
Like everyone knows the rule.
It's intentional.
Yeah, and it's not like, oh, I don't have to follow this rule, so I'm not going to do it. No, you do. It's a fucking policy. Like I'm willing to end the membership of a repeat offender.
Yeah.
that means it's policy, bro. And I promise you, most gyms will do that. Most gyms take it that serious. It's a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's very disrespectful to the next person that might need to come up and use that machine, no matter how you want to look at it. Finish the job, right? A full rep or set is putting the weights on and taking the weights off. That's a full set. You don't do that, you didn't finish your set. It's still your fucking set. Yeah, we'll run with it.
Sure.
All right, next one. Let's see. Maxing out with or without a spotter.
I mean, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Depends.
Have you ever maxed out by yourself?
Depends on what it is. Deadlifting, yeah.
Okay, that's different. You can't really spot someone on that.
Anything that is dangerous.
Bench press,
squatting, I have. Yeah, squatting, I have.
You have squats,
yeah.
But you can do safety bars and stuff like that.
Anything where it's like I'm gonna hurt myself if I fail. No,
like a bench press, then, which is probably the most dangerous thing to that, and maybe like a military press or something.
Yeah, I mean, anything could happen in that case. Like your wrist could get tweaked when you grab it and you grabbed it wrong, and say you grabbed it fine, but your wrist tweaked on the inside. You're dropping that, you know. Yeah. And how are you going to stop that from hitting the top of your skull on a shoulder press?
Think about how many dudes we've seen do that where it just caves their chest in, or the dudes that it falls on their fucking throats.
Yeah,
like I would never.
That would hurt. It wouldn't. It would be embarrassing. Also, like
it would be embarrassing.
I would feel because then the weight would hit the ground after it hit you, and you'd probably be pretty sad because it hurt.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say if you're maxing out, man, you gotta have a spotter.
Yeah.
Don't be that dude. Also. I heard this because someone did this the other day in the gym actually. They were alone. They didn't ask for a spotter, and there was a bunch of people in the gym they could have asked.
Yeah.
They didn't ask for a spotter, and they ended up dumping the weight on a bench, and it was a lot of weight, and it was loud, and it made a lot of commotion. Everyone in the gym turned around.
Over, yeah.
And people were talking about it, and the someone, I don't remember who, came to the table with a theory of, because I think the manager said, hey, put
clips on,
yeah, so that doesn't happen. And someone said, well, if he was maxing out alone, you don't want clips on so that you could dump the weight off on one side.
And he said there's only 30 people in here to come spot you.
Right.
Yeah.
So but it just got me thinking. I was like, is that true? Is that a thing, or should it be a thing? And I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like, no, don't plan to throw your fucking weights, because what happens if you dump the weight, bro, on one side?
It's gonna fly back the other side.
It's gonna fling the other way.
Especially when there's other people in the
bar,
gym. Yeah.
It's gonna fling the whole bar the other way because the weight's gonna counter, and boom. And what if someone's on the bench next to you and that shit flips over and whacks them while they're benching?
Yeah.
Now you got two. So I don't think dumping the weight should be in your game plan.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you should put the motherfucking clips on and call a spotter over, or don't pick the weight up if you're gonna get crushed under it. Like,
for sure.
I mean, that's got to be policy, I would say.
I mean, especially when there's other people in the gym.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a pack. I'm sure it was during the busy hour too, like 6, 7.
Yeah, I don't recall, but it was a story someone told me. I didn't actually witness it myself.
With that being said, like if there's somebody in the gym or the gym's open and there's staff members, somebody's gonna be able to spot you. So there's
Laura got you guys.
Yeah, she's so strong.
She's out there every day.
She's been
banging iron.
Yeah,
man,
for real.
She's been there for enough years that you guys should know.
Yeah.
So Laura got you guys.
But
if nobody else, Laura will be there.
I mean, I've only failed like on reps, not like I mean, I've failed PRs, but if I'm benching and I'm doing 225 and I just want to rep it out for as many as I can, and I overestimate how many I can do, I'm not dumping it. Like,
right.
If I can't get it up, it's stuck on my chest. I'm gonna
slowly just let that bitch sit there and help.
Yeah, that. I'd rather do that than dump it. Yeah. Or I'm gonna try and throw it to my hips and then try and stand up and roll it off my hips and set it on the ground.
See if you can't just break some ribs on the way down.
Yeah, well, just to not embarrass myself, I'd rather just break my ribs.
You don't think that would be embarrassing if everyone just saw you?
Not if I do it smooth enough. You see when the guys trip and they do like a front flip.
Forearms, bro. Yeah. I'm training forearms.
Yeah, I'm like, I like power clean it back up once I stand up.
Oh man, that's great.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not dumping it. I've dumped a squat one time. I was warming up. I was doing 135 on the squat, no clips on the sides, and I set it at a higher spot than I should have. And I go to set the weight back down, and I catch one side, and the other side misses, and I drop it, and it slides down my back.
Oh, that
it
hurt
hurts
too,
so bad. It was awful, and that was just like a couple months ago.
Yeah. That's great.
But
did we get that on camera?
Nah, I never told anyone.
Oh, look at you. So no one really saw that. No, you didn't have to do the embarrassing thing.
A girl came up to me and she said, they have clips, and I said, oh.
You're like, I know, I work here.
I said, I work here.
Thanks for telling
me. It was very awkward. She did say that. I was
That's
like,
fucking awesome. She's amateur.
I was like, thanks.
She's like, look at this newbie. Let me go help his ass. Oh man, that's classic.
That was kind of embarrassing for me, but it was. I'm
glad that story came out right here.
Yeah,
that's funny, man. So yeah, use your clips. It's definitely a policy. If you're gonna max out, get somebody to spot you. That's what gym staff is supposed to be there for.
For sure.
There's always guys, and I think most people understand, man, and going for a max, and they ask, if you can help spot. Like, of course you can.
Yeah, and someone there versus no one there is always better.
For sure. Otherwise, either way, maxing, not maxing, spotter, not spotter, use your clips.
Yeah.
Accidents do happen. And if weight's heavy enough for you where you start losing strength from one side to the next, that's all it takes is that little dip for the weights to slide off and things go flying. So people can get really jacked up on that.
For sure.
All right. This one's probably mostly applicable to our gym at Metroflex Fargo. But this is like one of my pet peeves, if you will. So a concept that I came up with when I opened this gym was to have leg day parking. I think it's a fucking genius idea.
Yeah.
It looks really cool as a concept for the gym with that kind of sign. We had actual like real signs made that say leg day parking only, and I put them right at the front of the doors so that when people train legs, it's a short walk out to your car.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Just a concept, really. It's not a super urgent thing. But I think in our gym, it's definitely a policy, and I try to enforce it, and I try to get our team to enforce it all the time. It is don't park there if it's not leg day.
Yeah.
Because it's unfair to people who are training legs and they love that concept. They're like, oh man, I want to
use it the way it's intended.
Day,
yeah.
And I also think if people did it only for leg days, it would alternate so much that enough people throughout the day would get an opportunity to park there, as opposed to like if an employee or a trainer who they do this a lot. So do employees though. And I've been guilty. I've been guilty of it myself. But as I became more disciplined and like, we got to get people to stop doing this. We need this parking to be available for people to actually utilize it for the concept. I haven't done it again. I don't, or I'll do it temporarily if I'm just unloading some shit real quick there. Otherwise, I'm okay with parking down in the bottom. I don't know why most people aren't.
Yeah.
But I want it to be available for people who aren't there all day long. You know what I mean? Like when trainers park there or employees park there and they're there all day long.
Yeah, so you're doing 4 hours. Or
now,
whatever.
if you're a trainer or an employee and it's your leg day and that's what you're training while you're parked there, park there. Mm-hmm. That's fair game. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I don't want my team parking there. I'm just saying let's not park there if it's not leg day for us.
Yeah.
So this one's kind of one off because I don't think too many people have a leg day parking at their gym, but it's a policy for us, definitely. Yeah. And I would love for people to treat it as such and respect that policy and leave that availability for other people to get an opportunity to park there for sure.
For sure. Well, me on the other side, because I do park there almost every day, exclusively for an hour every morning. It's cold outside.
Fuck. All right, we're gonna move on. Oh man. All right, so here's a good one we could slide right into, man. Wiping down of equipment. Now this has always been a policy in gyms. You gotta wipe your sweat off the shit, right? Although I remember pre-COVID, not in our gym but in other gyms, people used to just take their towel and wipe their sweat.
It wasn't a big deal.
Good, you know, and it was no one ever blinked twice at it. Now things are a lot more strict. I will say we've always wiped our equipment down. It's always been provided to the gym. But even myself lately, because I'll do a dumbbell set and then I'll wipe them. And I'll do a set and I'll wipe them. Like that gets weird to me in a kind of a frustrating way because, like, for example, putting plates away. I grabbed the motherfuckers with my hands and gripped them and put them back. I didn't wipe them down when I re-racked them. Do we have to do that, do you think?
I would say no, But also,
So what's the difference between grabbing a barbell or a dumbbell or an accessory to do back, lat pull downs or something, and having to wipe those off? And now this is the gym owner questioning this, like, what the fuck, right? I know people are like, what's going on here? He should be cleaning everything. Yes, we should be cleaning everything, but everything is the key.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if we're really going to go there, and if you truly believe it's a necessity because you're scared of the diseases and all the shit that's out there, then don't you agree that you should also wipe down the fucking spray bottle that you grabbed to spray your towel to wipe the equipment down with, because you grabbed it just like you grab a barbell?
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what I mean? But do you know what I mean? Like, do you see
it.
the logic now? And because yes, I think it's important, especially if you're sweating on a bench and all that shit. You should be wiping that shit down. But everything you touch with your hand, should we necessarily be wiping it down that thoroughly?
But
because
the thing is
you touch everything with your hand.
If you wipe it down after you're done using it, you should have wiped it down before you used it. You know what I mean?
But I don't, because I don't care.
Exactly. That's what.
But I wipe it down after because I care what other people think.
Yeah.
Right? But if I go to grab the barbell, I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm going to just grab it and use it. I'm not going to wipe it down first.
Yeah.
Because we've done this our entire fucking history, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so, I know this gets into a whole different opinion I'm not going to go into, but like, I'm just asking the honest question of, if it's a matter to wipe down your accessories because you gripped your hands around them, and wipe down your barbells and your dumbbells because you gripped your hands around them, shouldn't it then be a matter to wipe down the plates after you pull them off and put them on the rack? Shouldn't it then wipe down the spray bottle that you gripped to spray into your fucking towel? All these little things, all that should have to be an issue for people too. Yeah. But it's not.
It is weird.
It's not. And it's not a policy either. While we're at it, that's not a gym policy to, hey, wipe down the handle you just grabbed. Now wipe down the spray bottle. Don't forget to wipe down your plates. So for me, I like to do things logically. So I'm like, okay, well, if we don't do that, and I will never ask people to do that, why the fuck do we make them wipe down the handles on the dumbbells?
Yeah, everybody sanitize before you come in.
You know what I mean? Like,
we got to spray you down.
Yeah, I get. Is that what we do? Just fog them?
Yeah,
we'll just stand there with the fogger, bro, like Ghostbusters and shit. Just fog everybody as they come in.
Yeah, it definitely has, or was, a little more out of control than it is now. I mean, we were cleaning every 30 minutes before, as staff, other than gym members. We were cleaning every 30 minutes to make sure people felt comfortable and safe. And if we got to do that, we'll do that, but is it necessary? No.
Yeah, I just don't think that. The problem I've had with all this stuff all along is that the science keeps debunking the science.
Yeah.
And then the logic comes into play too, and it's just like, well, okay. So yeah, I don't know. I feel strongly if anyone wants to make an issue of the whole hand grabbing and wiping things down, because yes, it's kind of inconvenient.
Yeah.
And we go through thousands and thousands of fucking paper towels every hour, it seems like.
It's outrageous.
And it's because people are spraying a towel, wiping the handle, the knurling on the handles, tearing the towel up, so you got to throw that one away and then do another set and go back and do it again. And you have to do that in between sets if you're not going to babysit the dumbbells, because
and that's the worst thing,
because someone else might go and use it while you're not, and so they're going to be like, you didn't wipe that down. And it's just like, well, because I'm not done. But you got to do it in between every fucking set. You know what I mean? So the logic for me is, okay, cool, I get why we're doing it, because we keep grabbing that shit, but now we grab a multitude of other things that we don't wipe down.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes it any different?
I think the worst part, especially because you can have, I don't know how to explain it. We don't have a rule of what you have to wear in our gym.
Right.
So people can work out shirtless and in tank tops and in
booty shorts and
all of it.
And so skin and sweat is getting all
everywhere.
Over everything. Yeah.
I'm not trying to touch my back, my back, my skin on a sweaty bench that somebody just used. So that's my thing. You need to wipe.
That has to be wiped. That's a different thing though, because you're really sweating and getting bodily fluids and shit all over. I think that's a necessity, and that is definitely a fucking policy.
Yeah.
In fact, as it stands, it's a policy to wipe your bars and handles down of the equipment that you're using. Mm-hmm. But it's not a policy to wipe the spray bottle down or wipe the plates down as you put them back away.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. And that's what I'm thrown for a loop on. Is just well, why isn't it a policy if it matters? or does it not fucking matter?
Doesn't matter.
In my opinion, it doesn't. I feel like if I just started saying, fuck it, guys, you don't have to actually wipe these
then
things
people
down,
would stop wiping things down altogether.
Well, yes, and a lot of people would complain because they're like, no, they're not wiping that down. And even if you give them the argument, okay, but you grabbed that spray bottle after they grabbed it and they never wiped it down, that doesn't bother you?
Yeah, and they probably just sneezed in their hand too.
Right. Or they touched the towel that wiped everything down over and over and then grabbed that spray bottle again to get a new. It's just
what do you think about using the same sanitized cloth that you used on multiple pieces of equipment? So say you like double it up and so it's not as thin.
So I think the spray is supposed to kill or disinfect whatever the problem is that we're wiping off. So that doesn't bother me. I'm the guy that'll grab like 7 towels at once to make a big like.
That's too many.
But then I spray that and I use that one for my whole as long as I can through a whole. You know what I mean? I don't grab a new one every time.
I do too.
I get it thick so that it can take. It's durable to spray a lot and keep wiping shit down. Once it starts to tear up and shit, then I throw it and I'll get another. But yeah, I don't do every time I wipe something down, I grab a new one.
Well,
I see no difference. You're probably gonna use more than me because you grab 1 or 2 every time, where I grab 6 or 7 at a bunch and spray the whole thing and use it like a wash rag as opposed to a paper towel.
I'm also one of those guys that's like, I'm not wiping my stuff in between sets. If you use it, that's on you. Get out of my way. I will go back and wipe it down when I'm done.
Some dudes got in a fight in our gym over that.
They did.
Yeah.
It's
what if
unnecessary.
someone whoops your ass, bro, for doing that?
I would love to see somebody be like, "Hey, bro, go wipe your stuff up," and be like, "Okay."
That'd be a double standard on our part. Dude.
No, it's not that I'm not.
He's like, I'm Deion.
I'm still doing the set though. Like how you say you're setting the dumbbells down. If I set,
I set them down in the rack.
Yeah. I usually,
but then I wipe them down. Otherwise, like I said, if you're willing to babysit them, then it's different.
Exactly.
If someone grabs them off your bench or off the floor by your bench, then that's on them.
Like, or if
I agree with that.
If
100%,
my phone and my sweatshirt
them.
is behind the bench and I just got off of it and I'm doing like a tricep pull down right behind it,
right, and
somebody takes my bench, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Hey, bro, I'm on it. Let me wipe it down quick.
No. Right. It's the same when people, because I superset, and this is gonna segue right into our next one. So I superset. But before we talk about the supersetting, I'll just say, if someone wants to work in on me, which I'll let anybody because of its supersetting, I'll say, yeah, no problem. I don't mind if you work in. I'm not wiping the bench down for you, and I frankly I don't care if you don't wipe it down after me either.
Yeah.
Like I literally don't care that much. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal to me. We've lived in it long before all this other stuff was happening, and we were all just fine. And so whatever. So yeah, policy, definitely wipe all your shit down for the sake of argument. It's just good at gym etiquette. But definitely, if you're gonna skip anything, don't skip wiping down your benches and anything you put your back and your body on. And sweat on like that aggressively, your ass, all that shit. It should be wiped down after your use, when you're done using it and ready to give it up. Plain and simple. I think that makes sense, you know? So, cool. Next one then we'll get into, and I think this is our last one, which that's cool. It's good timing.
I also have one.
Oh yeah, we'll take some of yours too. But so let's just do this last one is supersetting. This shit is famous right now, like famous. I love supersetting. I've been doing it for a couple years now. I enjoy that style of training because it just keeps my intensity going, and it's over faster. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I really like doing it that way. I have very small breaks between sets because I'm really just walking from one station to the next, and that's my break. Yep. So I love supersetting. I think there's a limit. I try not to do more than 2 to 3 stations at a time at most. Because I'm trying to be the fair guy in the gym. I don't know if there's really a policy. Some gyms I've seen no supersetting allowed. I think that's a weird policy. I think you're disabling people from being able to train the way they need to train for whatever it is they're training for. Eric Sweeney's real big on having people do supersettings, and he has a lot of scientific logic as to why he trains people that way. I won't argue with that shit. I like that shit. Yeah. Can it be annoying sometimes? Fuck yeah, it can. Yeah, especially if somebody's supersetting and they don't have the gym etiquette to say, hey, I know I shouldn't be doing this technically, but I'm totally willing to let you work in on me and do whatever it is you need to do without being a bitch about it.
Well, I work with Sweeney. Obviously, we all know that. A lot of his workouts are, well, the ones that I do bodybuilding wise are trisets. Like everything is trisets. So I'm doing 3 different lifts. People aren't scared of me or intimidated by me, and I don't want them to be. People will just come and take my stuff, and I'm like, and if I'm not close enough, I'm like, all right, I guess. And I move on. I'll like pick up my stuff right by them, and they'll look at me. They're like, I'm like, it's cool. I guess I'll go. And I mean, that's unfortunate for me, doing the supersets, but like, I get it. And I'm not gonna be like, bro, I'm on this, get off. Like they already switched the attachment and everything. Yeah. And so it's like, I get it. And you just have to kind of be, applicable, especially if somebody's just doing one thing on that one machine. I don't have a problem with it with them taking over, and I'll just go do something else. I have 2 other sets that I have to do, you know. But when I see them on their phone or something, then I get pissed.
Yeah.
I'm like,
see, I'm maybe not, and I don't think I'm rude, but I'm not as nice about it as you. If someone comes into something I'm using, I'll go keep doing my work, and I'll just let them know, hey, I got a couple more sets, but I don't mind you working, you know.
No, but they switch it though.
That's fine. I tell them I'm working on it, and they got to switch it back. Yeah. Like, it's gym etiquette. I'm not afraid to be like real with people and just say, hey, I'm on here. I don't mind if you use it. You know what I mean? Just switch it back for me by the time I come back, and then it's all good. But I'm supersetting, so I'm totally okay if you want to work in. I'm always super open to that. I'm not open to just giving it up though.
Yeah.
You're not just gonna snag it from me. I'm still using it, and it's important that I get that movement done because I'm being programmed. So watch out.
See, say I got like I got distracted or something, or I was switching my music and I was taking my break after my 3 lifts.
Yeah.
And somebody takes my first one and I haven't been there in 3-5 minutes. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah. How do you not be there in 3 to 5 minutes? So that's a long time.
I gotta pick the right song.
I guess.
What am I gonna? I turn on some real hip hop. I don't know.
One day we're gonna have a talk about what real hip hop is, Deion, because I'm a subject matter expert in this shit.
I listen to a little bit of everything. We'll
do music soon. Yeah. Music's definitely something we could get into. I would love to, because me and you have talked a lot about new school music, and you've cued me to some good stuff. So yeah, supersetting though, it's not a bad thing.
No.
It shouldn't be a gym policy that people cannot superset. I will never make it a policy. But I will definitely check situations that are out of control or being disrespectful, or that people aren't working together. You know, I'll check those individual sessions, you know, as they happen.
Yeah.
I won't make a big issue of it and make it a policy, because I like supersetting. I know there's some benefits to supersetting. It's, you know, a lot of people appreciate that style of training. It's a quicker way of getting things done in the gym. I love the intensity behind it as well. I love the sweat when I'm weight training.
Yeah.
I don't get people who weight train and never drip. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You're not working hard enough, I think. You know, like, and maybe that's just me being judgmental, but I like to fucking feel my work.
There's something about it, yeah.
So,
I feel like the main thing is like the way you react to the situation. Like you said, you don't let people take your equipment, but you're not like, nah, bro.
I'm not an ass.
Sorry, get out of here.
Yeah, no way.
Like,
what's up, little man?
If you're handling it like that, that's completely wrong, and you're in the wrong. You should not do that.
I see it happen.
Like, if I let somebody take my stuff, either I don't care enough to be on it, and that's fine, or I'm gonna say, hey, can I work in with you? Or like, I was on this, I had a couple more sets left. Is that cool? Like, I'm not like, hey, bro, I'm on that. Get out of here. That's wrong, and you're in the wrong for that. Yeah. Like, unless you were on it and they were like, hey, bro, let me get in. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Hey, watch out. Can I take over this?
Yeah, I've heard a couple of stories about people getting kicked off their machines, and it's like,
I've heard that too. I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, and I'm like, did you ask like if you could get back in on it? And they're like, no, I just walked away. And I'm like, well,
but see, that's what I mean. When people walk away and they get mad too, they're like, fuck
yeah, you can't get mad about it.
Took my shit, and I'm just like, why'd you let them?
Yeah.
Like, that's not like your cue to be confrontational. I'm just like, why didn't you just tell me, hey, I was using that, but I don't mind sharing, man. But I have a couple more sets to
exactly
finish. Like, that's all I ever say, and no one's ever been like, oh, fuck that then. They're just like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, no problem.
Nah, bro, you're done.
Cool.
You're going home.
No one's ever done that, yo. Like, yesterday, some dude asked me, because I was supersetting, some dude asked me if I was still using the cables, and I'm like, yeah, I am, because I was on another machine. He walked over, he's like, are you done there?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I still have 2 more sets, man. I said, but I'm supersetting, so I don't mind if you want to work in. That's totally cool with me. And he just like, okay. And he just walked away and did something else and never did. And I'm just like, I didn't say anything bad on me. I was just like, I'm still on it, but
That's
absolutely.
That's my favorite thing is like when you're using the cables and somebody's like, "Hey, like, are you almost done, or can I get in on this cable?" And I'm like, "There's 6 other cables in the gym, bro. Like, why you got to use this cable?
Because it's the one.
Is there something special?
It's the one by
about
the front
this
desk,
one?
right?
Yeah,
That's the best one.
No one uses that when I'm there.
Really, that one I'm always waiting for.
Jeez.
That's my favorite one because I do. But I'm in a habit right now. Well, at least the way I'm programmed, I have like 3 different.
Yeah.
In like on my chest or my arm day, I'll do so many different movements within those cables, and so I just like using that one because it's right by all the equipment.
People like to see themselves in both angles of the mirror, like the corner, so they like to be on the edge. Yeah,
that's what's up.
Can I move on to the one?
Do yours. Let's
I've been eager to say this one because it's gonna be like pretty out there, but posing in between training. How's that make you feel?
Okay, so before I give my opinion on it, I'll tell some other opinions that have come about in the gym as an owner. I've had people tell me the lighting is so fucking dope over there on that side.
Yeah,
and it really is that one corner on the Lady Alpha logo side. So the lighting is just. It's tits right there because the sun's beaming through that tiered glass or whatever that shit is. So I've heard that argument as to why people do it, but then I've also had a woman come and complain and say, hey, I was on a bench doing a bench press and I look up, she's using dumbbells and I look up and there's 2 penises in my face because these dudes dropped trowel right next to me and started posing in the mirror. And she's like, that was really fucking uncomfortable and I feel like inappropriate. Like, don't you guys have a posing room for that? And I'm like, oh, fuck, yeah. Technically we do. And I said, we don't really have a policy that they can't do that. We have a lot of bodybuilders here, and that's just kind of what they do. When they hit legs, they'll drop trowel and fucking right there
I've done that before too, yeah.
So now my personal opinion on it is I don't have an issue with it, but I think that you should appropriately do it. Check your legs, cool stuff. But if you're the dude that's like, checking your legs and you drop down to your boxers and now you're pulling them up your crack and you're turning around, flexing your glutes, it's like you could probably run that to the posing room.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's why the posing room is there. And most people on the gym floor don't want to fucking see your ass cheeks all with your underwear up your ass. You know what I mean? Like
Cody?
I mean, I won't say names, but a few people have done it. And again, I don't have an issue with it because
I didn't mean that, Cody. My bad.
Nah, fuck that. Fuck Cody. I'm accustomed to it because I built this gym. You know what I mean? I wanted people to feel confident about like this is where bodybuilders are welcome to do their thing. I get it. You rip your shirt off, flex in the mirror, do all that shit. That's why guys like to train with their shirts off to see the muscles moving and all that. It's motivating. But yeah, we have a posing room. If you really want to get down and see all your shit, do it in the posing room. So we got back mirrors and everything so you can see all angles and shit, it's even better. But I don't think it's an issue that people do it. I think they should be respectful about who's around when they do it and how far they need to go to see what they're trying to see.
So like say you're doing bench or you're doing dumbbell bench.
Okay.
You flex, you do a set, you take your shirt off, you flex some more. You do another set, you flex some more. How's that? That's fine.
I mean, it's dumb, but I guess it's fine. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I would never do it, but it doesn't bother me at all.
I get bothered by that, man. I do. I used to be that guy, though, too.
I like that motherfuckers are confident in our gym.
Me too.
That's what I like. I like that people come to our gym and they feel at home doing that kind of shit.
And they're okay with it.
There could be a certain level of ignorance that goes into doing some of that shit, but I laugh when people around are just like, fucking look at this fucking dork, and they get all worked up over it, and I'm just like, let them be, homie. Like I'll tell you right now, if motherfucking Phil Heath and C-Bum were in this gym doing that, not a motherfucker would complain about it.
No.
None of them. But Phil Heath and C-Bum used to look like that little dork that's doing it right now.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So I always try to look at it that way because yes, it annoys me. And yes, I think, like I said, I think they're fucking dorks for doing it, but I'm not going to point at them and laugh and tell them they're fucking dorks. You know what I mean? Because I respect the potential that they might take that somewhere, that they might passionately fall so in love with their body that they turn it into one of the best physiques ever. And one day we're cheering that motherfucker on. I don't know.
That's true.
But I don't want to knock somebody's ability or their mentality about that kind of stuff is my biggest thing. even if I have a personal preference about it, I'll just keep it to myself. And I tend to do that. I've gotten better at doing that over the course of being an owner in a gym, because so many people come to me and complain about shit like that, to a point where I'm like, man, is it really that serious of a fucking issue that you got to cry about it to ownership all the fucking time? Or can you just like overlook it?
The only issue I have with it is that it takes up a lot of time. Some guys are like, oh, I want to take a picture of this too. And they're like sitting there in all the mirror space while you're like trying to do your workout. And I'm like, okay.
I get it.
But other than that, I mean, it's not a big deal. I used to do it when I was younger and I was like, oh, I'm sick. Now I am sick.
And see, but in respects to that, they'll grow up and hopefully get that mentality. Exactly. One day they can be like, I used to do that dorky shit.
Yeah. And they'll see a kid and they'll say the same thing.
Fuck, I remember doing it too when I was younger. I was just like, oh, I wanted to see my shit all the time.
Yeah.
No thanks. Not anymore. It's not like that, you know? So I don't know. It's just, it's not a policy at our gym, at least. And I think it's a consensus that you're seeing nationwide. Even in gyms, like I made it a rule in my gym that guys could train with their shirt off, because it was so abnormal for a dude to take his shirt off in the gym. Mm-hmm. Now, dudes take their shirts off in the gym all the time and no one blinks at it. Even at like the Y and places like that, I see it all the time.
My girl worked at a gym in the area, and they wouldn't even let girls wear tank tops. Like they couldn't wear a crop top, they couldn't wear a tank top.
See, that
guys couldn't wear cutoffs.
Crazy to me.
It was weird. It was very weird, and so it's like they had to kick these people out in order like to keep that rule up.
Yeah,
but, like,
we got a lot of new members at our gym like that.
Exactly,
yeah,
but then you got like my girlfriend coming to our gym, and she's like, God, I hate having to enforce that rule because it makes me feel super hypocritical because she's wearing a tank top. You know, it's like it's
weird that you would
super
make that
weird.
A policy though.
Yeah,
but her gym was a college gym too, wasn't it?
Yeah, but what's the difference?
The protection of college students is on an all-time
but
high.
The guys can't even
security.
wear. The guys can't wear cutoffs.
Okay, see, that's dumb. That's like Planet Fitness shit. Yeah, that's weird to me. I don't get that. I don't get why a gym has to get in anybody's business about it. Plus, like, people are buying gym apparel designed specifically like that for that reason. All you're doing is telling people we don't want you to be here.
Yeah, like a guy couldn't wear a stringer.
Right, that's weird.
But like, I'm pretty sure they have to wipe their equipment off.
Cutoffs too.
Yeah,
like at Planet Fitness, you're not allowed to wear a shirt that the sleeves are cut off.
I don't even like to talk about Planet Fitness because it's just.
I want to file a fucking class action lawsuit so bad against them for discrimination against people like us in our gym, because they're getting away with fucking legit discrimination,
and people are okay with it.
And
it's weird.
I'm just like, that's so strange that no one's like, start a gym coalition of people and just say, hey, we're all owners and we feel discriminated against by them.
For real, it's really inappropriate. Yeah, like,
it's weird.
And say you.
Now, I don't really want to assume, but I'm just saying, like, the logic behind it is like, how has it not happened yet?
It's very unfair. Like, say someone like you're larger, more intimidating looking. Regular people will be like, wow, oh God, he's a bodybuilder, he's a big guy, and you go in there, people are gonna look at you differently, and that's weird. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah. That's weird that we're so okay with
at the no judgment zone.
Yeah, at the no judgment zone.
You get more judged than anybody at the no judgment zone. That's like, if we could call ourselves the wimpy people gym.
Yeah.
Would that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we don't have a bunch of wimpy people in our gym.
Yeah,
it's the same concept, but to say you're the no judgment zone, but then have actual fucking policies that are strictly based on judgment.
Yeah.
Blows my mind, the hypocrisy that they get away with shit like that, homie. That's so weird to me.
And I get that they don't want people grunting and stuff. That's fine. That's fine.
You don't want people training then.
I mean, that's true, but like, people are extra sometimes, and so if that's your
but that shouldn't be a policy.
No, it's
because if you want to pull some big weight, a bench press or a deadlift or a squat, and it's big weight for you, you're telling me you're like.
No, but
it's gonna take a certain level of gusto that you have to build up, and you're naturally gonna be like,
if I'm not supposed to grunt, and I know I'm not supposed to grunt, I'm not gonna be as loud at our gym. If I'm gonna go for a PR, I'm grunting. I'm gonna bark before I go. I'm a DMX style bark. Yeah, you know. DMX is bad, yeah. He's bad. He's bad. So
wait, for those that don't know, Deion absolutely, and I know this is gonna sound crazy to gym goers because DMX is like probably top 3 for gym fucking motivation music. Deion does not like DMX at all.
And I don't like the bark,
And he
especially.
doesn't like the bark is the whole fucking vibe too.
He has a few good songs that I like, but I mean, it's just not for me. It's kind of just seems. I don't even want to.
I don't know if we should ever get into a discussion about hip hop music,
it,
bro.
I don't want everybody to know that.
Hey, yo, rest in peace to DMX. We won't let Deion do you like
That's
that.
true. That's true. Rest in peace.
Yeah, all right. What else, man? You got another one on, or did you just have the one?
I think that's all I've got for now. This is obviously something that just continuously goes and goes, but that's really all I've got. I'd say.
Well, that's fun. All right. We milked a whole hour out of that, and that was a fun discussion, man.
It was.
Again, it's not always going to be something crazy serious. Sometimes we just want to get in here and have some fun and show kind of our energy and our point of view on certain things, especially within our industry. So take that information, do with it whatever you will. Just know that some of that stuff was policy, and if you're a member of my gym, I hope you're taking some notes and that you're going to adhere to some of those policies. If not, I'm sure we'll have discussion somewhere along the line. Wipe down your equipment, have gym etiquette, re-rack your weights, put things in the order they belong, put them on the pegs they belong on. Make your gym going experience that much better. I'll end on this note. Like, I don't understand why people find a home gym like what we create and don't want to take the best possible care of it as a member of that gym. You're paying good money to have a good facility and you're trashing it.
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing to me because, like, we could have one of the dopest gyms ever if everyone just did their part to take care of it.
Exactly.
And we have so many people that do that. The problem is other people weren't receptive to it. You know, we see a lot of people get bent out of shape because, some motherfucker that doesn't even work here told me to re-rack my weights. And it's just like, well, you should. Yeah. And he's just taking care of home. Yeah. Well, you don't get mad at people. Be like, hey, you know what? Thanks for calling me out on my shit, man. I'm going to own that. I'm going to re-rack it. Because that's how, that's just being a real motherfucker. Don't be one of those dudes that comes into the gym and is just all hardcore and then deep down inside you're just a little fucking cowarding punk. You know what I mean? Like, you put on this front that you're just this tough guy and you want to be an asshole to everybody. That's not convincing at all. It's weak and it makes people look stupid. So stop with the tough guy shit. Be a real gym goer. Have some real gym etiquette and just follow policies, follow rules, and you know what? Curl in the motherfucking squat rack.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say, obviously, we appreciate everybody coming to the gym, and the best part about being at a home facility where people are actually going to take care of the gym, because we do have a lot of members that do take care of the gym and try and get that information out, is we're able to offer such a competitive pricing for our membership.
Absolutely.
So it's and we run those specials, those deals, and it's like, the only reason we can do that is because we have people that will take care of the gym, and we don't have to force people to pay so much more money so that we can fix things all the time. So
we don't increase our rates every year like every other gym in town does.
Exactly.
Our rates have been the same for 7 years straight.
$150 on top of that.
No
after
gym
the
maintenance
years
fees and none of that crazy stuff.
So,
man, we're straightforward. We're anti-corporate. We run an honest business. We are locally, independently owned. And everybody that works for us is, for the most part, residents of this place and grew up here. And we're contributing to this community in a major way, and we're just looking for people to kick back and make sure that we're around for the long haul. So that requires everybody respecting the rules for sure.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched some of our previous episodes, definitely go check them out. The last one, the Marshall one, was very good. We're getting good feedback on it, and feel free to leave feedback on this one. Tell us some of your pet peeves.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
What you think policy
we'll do a follow-up
should be.
if we get anything on it, for sure. And also on that note, you want to know more about who we are and the history of kind of where we came from and how we got to this point with H&I and Metroflex and stuff like that. Go back to the beginning and see the first podcast that me and Deion did together, where we just kind of break down, what is Ill Ego, talked about, all of the stuff that we've created and how we gotten to this point, told some background on our experiences here in this community, and up to this point. So go back, check out the old ones, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Check us out on Instagram. I'm gonna have to put these just in the descriptions going forward, but on Instagram, man, Ill Ego _culture brands and Ill Ego _CEO is where you can reach me or the podcast, and then
it's Deion Larry, Deion Larry is my Instagram, and then for H&I Nutrition, it is H&I _nutrition on Instagram and H&I Nutrition on Facebook, and then we've got Metroflex Gym, Fargo on Instagram and Metroflex Gym Fargo on Facebook. So
cool. Check us out. Like, subscribe, share, leave comments, notes, suggestions, whatever you want to do. We appreciate you guys listening, and we'll talk to you another time.